Well, it's been a long time since you've seen me in a vlog. Jar back there putting her little shoes on, her little Yeezys. Anyway, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the vlog. You haven't seen my Peugeot 106 daily for winter yet, but I will be doing a video on that soon. Cold start in the GTR, because we are going to a car meet this morning in High, supercars and classics only, so obviously GTR's a supercar. And we're going to go and park that up there until we can find. But without further ado, we need petrol, we need to spray it off, and we need to get going because we're already running late. Well, we have arrived in one piece, and Shah loves it when I vlog in public, don't you, Shah? But here we are again at another car meet, and it's actually quite a nice day for late November here in England. But we've actually got some lovely cars here, so we're going to walk around and see what we can spot. Shah got distracted there by a guy who's got a glow-in-the-dark beard. Very cool. Mine's not quite long enough, unfortunately. So this is the new Mustang Bullet. I'm pretty sure they're only about £5,000 over the standard V8 GT, although I think they look much more aggressive. They've got an aggressive front lip on them, and most of them come in this lovely sort of dark greeny colour. I really like them, they look really cool, and yeah, I think it might be a sensible thing to get that instead of a GTR, sheerly for, you know, money savings. Now, initial impressions are there are a lot more classics here than there are supercars. The Gallardo over there, AMG GT, a few nice ones, but I'm not super knowledgeable on classics. But we've got a nice stark contrast of Nissans with a couple of GTRs, and of course Nissan Figaros, which I think are pretty sick too. I really like these. Now, I'm most excited in this section because there's a few cars here that I find really exciting. Number one, of course, a 2017 GTR. So this is obviously known as an EBA, although it's technically still part of the DBA run. So it's a newer GTR, 6-speed dual clutch gearbox. These are pumping out, I think, 580 horsepower, give or take, if it's standard, but obviously incredibly tunable. Differences from my GTR include the LED headlights, which look much nicer with the lightning stripe up them. You also have the more aggressive front bumper and splitter, and slightly updated interior. But the wheels are the real thing that I think make a stark contrast with the diamond cut alloys, because they look absolutely gorgeous. But pretty similar car, and I don't think worth the price premium over a standard DBA like mine at the moment, although it does look much nicer. But something I am really considering, and I've been looking at these all week on Auto Trader, but they're old Ferraris. So things like the Mondial or a 360 are currently only worth a few grand more than my GTR, and I think it would be really cool to own a Ferrari, even if it is an older one that is obviously nowhere near as quick as what I currently own. I think it'd just be nice to have a Ferrari in my ownership history of cars, because obviously I'm a big Ferrari fan. I love Ferraris almost as much as I love Lamborghinis, but these Mondials around £40,000 to £50,000 at the moment, and I think a really cool car for that money. And that would be quite a low mileage one as well. They'll still be probably pretty nice to drive. I want to apologise to any of my audience who are big classic car fans, because I know a few older cars, but unfortunately I don't know all of them, and I can't comment on all of them. But here we have a lineup I can comment on, starting with the AMG GT. 4-litre twin-turbo V8, front engine, really nice Grand Tourer car, 500 horsepower, and just a really cool car in general. They sound lovely and are definitely, in my opinion, more of a musical instrument than a track weapon. But I love the alloys and I love the spec on this one. Really nice. And if I was going to get one, I'd have to get it as a coupe and not a drop top, because I'm not a drop top or a convertible fan. Secondly, it is a drop top, but I can kind of make a little bit of an exception in this case, because this is an Arancio Atlas Lamborghini Gallardo, rear engine, 5-litre V10. I think it's the 5-litre and not the 5.2 because it's the oldest shape. Very, very nice sounding engine. Of course, 10 cylinders, just like this lovely drop top that's about to come around the corner as well, another one. There it is. Older brother, I guess, technically, because it's really a Huracan and R8. But yeah, Lamborghini Gallardos are really cool, especially if they've got a gated manual like this one. Really cool car. Ferrari California here, might be a California T, but another drop top, and the alarm keeps going off. But pretty cool, V8 Ferrari. I think the best value Ferrari you can personally buy at the moment. BMW i8, of course they've recently released Roadster, but this is an interesting car because it is a hybrid. It has 3 cylinders of petrol performance, which are around 300 horsepower, which is a lot of performance per cylinder, but it equally has a hybrid electric motor helping the performance there, making this a pretty powerful sports car, but certainly not something I consider a supercar, although I do love the futuristic and aggressive looks. Before we head off, I thought I'd point out some other cars that I think are fantastic deals at the moment. First and foremost, Vauxhall Monaro or VXR8s. They're like a 6-litre V8, naturally aspirated, over 400 horsepower, and they're around like 15 to 20,000 pounds. So I think for the displacement you get, you can't get better value for money really. And you know what they always say, as much as I am a turbo Jap owner, you've got to say there's no replacement for displacement. Of course, the older R8s are now plummeting in value as well, and I think are really cool cars. I love the Mustang Bullet, and I also love all of the R8s that are here as well, but I especially think the new R8 V10s are much better value for money than buying like a Huracan or anything. You can tune them to pretty much the standard 600 horsepower of a Huracan or R8 V10 Plus, and you can get your hands on a coupe one now from 2015-ish for sort of £75,000, which is a lot of money and certainly more than I can afford, but I think a really cheap way of getting onto that awesome V10 platform. How did you enjoy the car meet, Charlotte?
Yeah, that was good. Charlotte.
Charlotte? That's your French customers call you? Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this incredibly short winter car meet vlog here in Hythe, which I've never been to before, but it's basically just the other side of Southampton in England, and the weather has held out, and these lovely grey skies, while not providing lovely tarmac to drive on, have provided fantastic lighting for the photos today, so I'm hoping my Instagram's going to look pretty litty over the next few days. And it's been a fantastic meet, and if you want to subscribe, I highly recommend you do, because next vlog's going to be my personal review of my winter daily driver, the Peugeot 106, which I got for a ridiculous price. You guys want to guess down below? 2002 Peugeot 106 with 67,000 miles on the clock when I bought it. Guess what that cost me, because I don't think you guys are going to get it right, but stay tuned for the next vlog to find out, because it was pretty ridiculous, don't you think, Char?
Yeah.
Peace!